I voted red this past election, but even I can recognize a Republican war hawk when I see one. Once again, this Republican boomer-ass Lindsey Graham is calling for the violence and sacrifice of our own United States Marines to be boots on the ground in Kharg Island, and the likes of which that happened many decades ago in Iwo Jima, Japan.
So here's what I tell President Trump. Keep it up for a few more weeks. Take Kharg Island, where all of the resources they have to produce oil. Control that island. Let this regime die on a vine.
Is this going to, though, take Kharg Island? Is it going to involve U.S. troops on the ground? Let me just read you something from The Atlantic. Does an assessment on that. They say U.S. troops may well take Kharg Island. We believe in their ability to do so, but only to endure ballistic missile strikes, drone attacks, petrochemical smoke, all without a reliable means of obtaining logistical support. The result could be a grinding war of attrition. They talk about how far away they would be from resupply.
I'm sort of tired of all this armchair quarterback, and this has been an amazing military operation. God bless the fallen.
But it's a difference when we talk about troops on the ground.
I trust the Marines, not that guy. I trust DOD. We got 2 Marine expeditionary units sailing to this island. We did Iwo Jima. We can do this. The Marines, my money is always on the Marines.
Sir, do you recall how many troops the United States lost during that time in the Battle of Iwo Jima? I believe it was tens of thousands U.S. troops. Read the room, bro. But then again, you do have a history of proclaiming all these outlandish, I guess, like portrayals of wanting to be a warmonger.
To my friends in Saudi Arabia, I've been your biggest champion. I think the Crown Prince has taken Saudi Arabia in a completely different direction in a good way. But here's what I want to say to Saudi Arabia tonight. I'm willing to do a mutual defense agreement with your country to give you protection in perpetuity. Under the agreement I've been pushing, and I hope we can continue to talk about, if you're attacked by Iran, we would go to war for you.
Do you expect to take an action against Greenland?
Well, I don't want to talk about Greenland. Let's talk about Venezuela, Russia, Ukraine. We'll worry about Greenland in about 2 months. Let's talk about Greenland in 20 days.
On Venezuela, we talked so much about energy.
By the way, I will say this about Greenland.
Man, I don't know what it is about Hawkman. Something rubs me the wrong way about him. It's the way he leans in, is looking at Trump like that, all googly-eyed. Man, his glazing ass. Looking all head over heels. Man, homie's looking enamored. Ready to give that Becky cocky cock. Ready to butter up his biscuits. All curry-flavored delights. Ready to lick up that butter off his boots. Sorry but not sorry. I don't like this whole fanboy energy Lindsey Graham is portraying out into the public like that. It's unprofessional, it's weak, it's not a good look, and frankly, it makes my job harder when I voted for the Republican Party this past election. And when people see that whole warmongering, bootlicking like energy this dude is like portraying constantly over the years, frankly, it's not a good look. And I don't like it. It's weak. I'm a bit spicy today. What can I say? It's just one of those days. Apparently, Hawkman wasn't always so sweet towards Trump. Just 10 years ago, he seen the president as the ops, as I'll show in the CNN interview from, again, 10 years ago.
So what he said about John, I think, was offensive. He's becoming a jackass at a time when we need to have a serious debate about the future of the party and the country. We're on the verge of giving an Iranian Ayatollah, who's a radical jihadist, a pathway to a nuclear bomb. The world is literally falling apart. We're becoming Greece here at home. And all we're talking about is Donald Trump and everybody he insults.
It's crazy how things changed from just 10 years ago, how we have taken out Ayatollah Khomeini and how we are at now war with Iran, and how things have not changed, how we are still talking about Trump every minute of every news cycle of every day.
What's the line? What's the line he crossed?
Saying that John McCain and people like him are not American heroes. The American people will not tolerate what he is doing now regarding those who have served.
Oh, but when you say it's cool for our troops to needlessly sacrifice themselves, just like in Iwo Jima, it's fine. It's cool. I got it. And again, y'all here all giddy and all cheesy and looking like Kamala Harris while talking about the possible, not the inevitable possibility of taking over Cuba. Like, bro, read the room. That's an operation that, once conducted, could cause harm to not just our own troops, but to like the citizens of Cuba, bro. We can lose people on both sides, man. Like, read the room. I don't like this whole warmongering mindset that they'll get all happy about possible conflict and war. Like, bro, relax. And top of that too, there's allegations of you of being more on the Israeli side as far as like buttering up like how you do with Donald Trump, but with Netanyahu in Israel.
families. We want to go after the infrastructure that killed your loved ones. There are IRGC assets in Beirut as I speak. President Trump come up with a new operation called Simplify. Fly with Israel and go after Hezbollah, who has American blood on its hands. Not only take the mothership of Iran down, also take the proxy of Hezbollah, settle the score, even the account.
To our friends in Israel, finish the job. Do what you have to do to bring about the regime change that will allow your children to sleep through the night. To the American people, wake up. Understand what we're fighting. The Ayatollah is not normal. These are not normal people. Stand with Israel. Here's my goal, is to have people in charge of Iran who don't want a nuclear weapon to destroy Israel, who will not be the largest state sponsor of terrorism, but live in peace with their neighbors and have a good relationship with the United States. That's what I want. And if you don't want that, there's something wrong with you.
Now, this is the Wall Street Journal article, which pretty much breaks down and talks about Lindsey Graham coaching the foreign leader Netanyahu on how to influence Donald Trump. You guys can pause the video to skim through the article yourselves. I really can't even read the full article because it is behind a paywall on the Wall Street Journal website. So I will share the link to the article in the description below of this video so you guys can have access to it. Not only am I spicy today, but I'm also a little disappointed in myself. I look like I'm in a cult. I'm conducting a ritual with the dim lights, the candle on the back, and honestly the hoodie. So please, to make me feel better, like the video, subscribe, share, comment your thoughts down below. I would love to engage with you. And there are pundits, news broadcasters, politicians, YouTubers, political commentators, whatever, who all share like the common opinion that Hawkman is somewhat treasonous for having those private dealings with other officials from other countries, and for over the decades being so close with Netanyahu, where he's able to give advice on how to influence Donald Trump. I get those talking points. It is pretty sus, and I get where they're coming from. I won't go as far as to say that myself, but I will say that it is sus. But I do see the value of having Israel as an ally out in the Middle East as well, because having the intelligence, having Israel being backup when things get rough, like kind of like how it is happening now with Iran, I get the need to have Israel as allies. We need strong allies out in the Middle East, and given our shared history, given the somewhat common religious values that we share with Judaism and Christianity, I get it, we're cool with Saudi Arabia as well and other countries, but the shared values of religion and just the shared history with Israel, I get the need to have them as an ally out there. And while we need to have those ties somewhat close, but I will say I don't like the whole influence Israel has over our government. It's not just with this administration and with Hawkman, but also just all these previous administrations, Biden, Obama, Trump's first administration, hell, even other people like Kamala and many of those other people who weren't president in our own government, who have close dealings with AIPAC, getting money, getting influence, getting power, politics stuff, vying for power, those type of things. And I will leave my final thoughts with this. I don't fully agree with all those quote-unquote valid reasons that Trump, Netanyahu, Hawkman, Hegseth, Rubio, all those who are leading the charge against the war with Iran, I don't fully agree with them, but I can understand them, because Iran is a country practicing Islam, and we know how radical jihadists who practice Islam can be in the name of Prophet Muhammad, which, again, it doesn't coincide with the Western culture that is America, and especially that of Israel. With mass migration permeating all these European countries as well as America and like the other countries like Japan and Australia and Canada, having radical Islam out there, and again, many of them have come from Iran. They're like one of the biggest places, if not one of the biggest hotspots in all of the Middle East for radical Islam in the name of jihad. I get it. We want to limit them before they want to do something here in America, even though there's been rare instances of people who have done in the name of ISIS and other extremist groups, but it can always get worse. And again, I get that. I'm not saying that's the full-blown reason to do what we're doing in Iran, but those are reasons I could understand their thinking. When I say them, like, you know, Hawkman, Netanyahu, Trump, what have you. And I get it. Nuclear facilities, nuclear enrichment, nuclear weapons, you don't really want that in an unpredictable jihadist group, an extremist group, radical group like that has come from Iran and those surrounding Iran in the Middle East. We've seen what they do to their own people. We've seen at the start of this war how they're able to attack many of these other Middle Eastern countries for like no reason. Them being so unpredictable and so extreme, I get the need to not have them have nuclear material, let alone nuclear weapons. Still doesn't give the excuse for Lindsey Graham to be Hawkman out in the streets. I don't agree with him at all for being such a hype man, not only for Donald Trump, but for war and conflict and violence. That's not how a politician should act. That's not how a professional should act. Someone who we are giving our taxpayers to should say. But this is the world we live in. It's always been like this as far as I can remember. All these warmongers and war hawks out there. That's why he is the Hawkman, because he is the biggest war hawk right now, and that is Lindsey Graham. In the afterwards of my second ever video on this channel, I made some closing remarks where I became, I guess, vulnerable and sensitive, if you know, you know, towards the potential of the brave men and women who would potentially fall in this war with Iran. For those who have fallen, you warriors, I thank you for your service. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. We cannot survive without you, those brave men and women who are in our military. So for those families who have lost men and women, children of theirs in this war with Iran, my prayers are with you. And I hope the number is reduced going forward. So with that, thank you for your service, brave warriors. Please like the video. Please subscribe. No more Hawkmans out there. I'm so tired of seeing Hawkmans, but I'm sure there will be other Hawkmans and other Hawkwomans. So with that, take care. Bye-bye.